Good morning, parents, teachers, faculty members, distinguished guests, relatives, friends, fellow graduates, and anyone whom I may have failed to mention. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the graduation of the class of 2009. In this same spot as the auditorium 3 years ago stood Justin Hartz, 2 years ago Ian Richards, and last year Stephen Herman. And I have to admit, it's no small surprise that I'm standing before you now as they once did. Before I began writing my speech, I did a lot of brainstorming as to what it should be like, and I confess, at first, I had no idea what to write. I asked myself, what should I talk about? What things should I mention? How will I find the right words to inspire, to motivate, to offer encouragement? And perhaps most importantly, how will I survive on stage with all these people staring at me? Without a doubt, being valedictorian has its drawbacks, and writing a speech is certainly one of them. On a side note, it's also hard to get away with doing something stupid. Whenever I would forget to do something I was supposed to do, make a fairly big mistake, or be just plain dumb, I would have to endure comments like, "And you're the valedictorian of your class?" Or, "Nice going, Austin, aren't you the valedictorian this year? Wake up." But anyway, as I started thinking of ideas, I thought it'd be appropriate to share with you what our experience has been like. Acknowledge what we've achieved, thank those I wanted to thank, and offer some of my own insight as to where we're headed. No doubt, these past 4 years of high school have been tough ones. Originally, we were a class of 11, and considering we've lost 4 of our classmates and gained 1, it may come as little surprise when I say that our journey has been a fairly difficult one. It seemed when we first walked through the doors of this academy 4 not so distant years ago, that coming to Moffett would be a long, uphill battle to graduation. In some ways, perhaps it was, for I'm certain there are some things my classmates and I won't miss. Particularly, I look forward to the many summer days in which there will no longer be the sleep I couldn't get, the time at home I couldn't enjoy, and the fun I couldn't have during the school year, or at least until I go to college. And I know I speak for all of us when I say this. But looking back at the 4 years behind us, I know that there are some things I will miss. Perhaps counting crows at the best. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got until it's gone? And now that I think about it, it seems that the little things about this place are the ones that I'll miss most. Whether it's having cappuccinos at Father Paul's house, having the opportunity to have classes like the Mr. Brock's philosophy class, which could go from being a discourse on the relationship between truth and beauty to an open debate about whose hometown had the best pizza place. Having the chance to go to Mass here at St. Mary's every morning, being able to say that I actually know the name of every person in my school. The times that we were allowed to play volleyball in this gym before it was banned for being too violent. And having classes that weren't as much lectures as they were 40-minute intelligent conversations from which, surprisingly enough, we would actually learn something. In truth, there are many characteristics of this school that reminded us that we were part of something out of the ordinary. For example, you knew it was Moffett when Mr. Martin would come running through the hallway yelling, "Don't get tagged," lest we be given demerit for even being 2 seconds late for class, when he would ask us to perform 4 beautiful lines before the beginning of the Angelus, and address us as scintillating seniors, jumping juniors, sophomores and sophomores, and frenetic freshmen when we were dismissed. You knew it was Moffett when you were pretty sure that you were the only kid out of your friends outside of school who had Latin, philosophy, chivalry, fine arts, and astronomy classes all in one day. You knew it was Moffett when you were seen walking down Mass on a Friday morning in Daytona with a bunch of other kids in jackets and ties. You knew it was Moffett when you would be pleased to discover toward the end of a particular day that you would miss your next class because you were just told 5 minutes ago that a guest speaker was coming to give a disputatio. You knew it was Moffett when our soccer, basketball, or baseball team's ability to go to an away game depended on how many cars we had to take the team there, which, surprisingly enough, was most of the time. You knew it was Moffett when Mr. Forrest would point to you with his wooden dowel labeled the obvious state and call you a hoopla when you said something dumb or for no reason at all. But most of all, you knew it was Moffett when you had the feeling that you were part of one big family. You knew everybody's name and everybody knew yours. This is the Moffett I knew and the one that I will remember. In many ways, Moffett has been a challenging experience for all of us, but I pray that it will take away a great amount of good from it as we go on to greater things. Now that I've thought more about it, I realize that Moffett has given me opportunities I would have had at few other institutions. Had I not gone here, I I more than likely wouldn't have had any knowledge of the Latin or Italian language by now, but I do, and I'm glad because of it. Had I not gone here, I probably wouldn't have known as much about true devotion to Mary, or had the opportunity to make the consecration, but I had, and I'm glad because of it. Had I not gone here, I almost definitely wouldn't have had the chance to see Italy and experience the language and culture of the country on the other side of the world. But I have, and I'm glad because of it. Even though at times we felt as though this day would never come, it's funny to realize how quickly we've made the transition from 13 and 14-year-old kids who were unsure of what the 4 years ahead of us would have in store, to young men who are ready to go off to college and begin the next stage in our lives. I know that I cannot bring my speech to a close without thanking those deserving of recognition. Although we are sorry to see the school lose several of its teachers, many of whom were here when we entered in our freshman year, our hearts go out to them as we wish them the best of luck wherever they're headed. To Mrs. Persampieri, who has often been like a mother to us, has never hesitated to help us out when we needed it, and who poured a very generous amount of her time into organizing the Italy trip along with Father Paul, in addition to the million other things she did for us over the years. We thank you and wish you all the best. Mr. Jenkins, Ms. Sticko, Father Paul, and Mr. Huff, for all the sacrifices you made for us and for being not only some of the best teachers we could ask for, but role models as well that we could look up to. Likewise, we thank you and wish you all the best. Mr. and Mrs. Pizzamenti, without your generosity in the years I spent here, it would not have been possible. Mille grazie per tutto quello che avete fatto per me. Many thanks for all that you've done for me. To my parents for putting up with me during these past 4 years and for giving me the support I needed throughout my high school journey. And finally, to Mrs. Wagner, whom we have so much to be thankful for. Understatement to say that you were a great asset in helping us all get into college. We can't thank you enough for all you've helped us to accomplish. A man once told me, whatever you do in life, always aim high. Don't just aim for the moon, aim for the stars. That way, if it happens that you don't make it to the stars, at least you can fall back and land on the moon. Today, I pray that all of us, Jose, Shane, Paul Duffy, KJ, Albert, Jonathan, Paul Barnard, and myself, they always have the desire to reach our full potential, and in doing so, give greater glory to God. With the certainty that our experiences have made us not only better students, but better men as well. Today, we move forward both with the knowledge of all we have achieved, with the hope of greater things to come. And in conclusion, knowing that it's an unofficial Montfort tradition to do so at the close of the valedictorian speech, I feel obliged to follow suit with the following farewell. And so, from all of us in the class of 2009, God bless, peace, and liberal arts.